What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Chase. We got a fun one today where I am joined by my right-hand man, Johnny B. John, what's going on?
You hit the mark perfectly.
You like that?
That was impressive.
I try.
What's going on, buddy?
I try. But, John, we're here today, joined by none other than Joe from Foods Galore. Joe, what's going on, brother?
Thank you, Chase, you, Doug, and Johnny B. Thank you so much for having me here.
Johnny B, you like that? I
love it.
JB, Johnny B, whatever we want to rock with.
Well, what about you? If I call you Chase or Doug, is that okay? I mean,
Chase.
do we like to talk about that?
Yeah, you can. We sometimes come up when we're talking to Fox 29 and we're talking with Tonka. Shout out to you, DJ Tonka. Of my government name is Doug, and I think this is always a surprise that my real name is Doug. It's literally the first line in my Instagram bio is that my name is Doug. But call me Chase.
I love that your name's Doug. I'm going to call you Doug or Chase. It's just going to flow like that.
You know what? And I'm used to that at this point. But let's do a couple.
My name is Doug. Sorry.
Couple-
Primus fans? No? Okay. I'll be over here.
I didn't even get that. But let's do a couple of intros. John, you have been behind the scenes for a lot of the things that I have done. This is the first time of hopefully many times that you're going to be on the podcast. But who are you? Tell us about you a little bit.
Man, yeah. I made stuff for about 22 years and still kind of make stuff from a content creation-wise. I very, very young age got into radio when I was like 17 and a half, kind of lied about my age to get in as an intern. And I didn't go to college after that. And I just, made my career in radio and television, voiceover from New York, L.A., Chicago, and I couldn't get enough of Philadelphia, so I came back here. I made a really cool Eagles podcast with some other really cool Eagles beats that are still around, got radio jobs off of that, and then realized that radio was going downhill quick and nobody was listening to anybody, and here we are.
Here we are making it happen.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I was just going to say the main thing I do now is help content creators and businesses kind of form layers rather than just hand over a bunch of ad dollars and say good luck or whatever, because that never really works out. So
yeah, and I'm sure we'll get to it in another podcast at some point. But what's the company that you're running now?
Monetize Philly. It's monetizephilly.com. Weekly, I say weekly, but at least monthly newsletter to just kind of be an open book about what I do with Chase and all the other stuff that kind of comes along my way with some tidbits and advice. So
yeah, I will say, guys, if you are a content creator, John is a great person to connect with. We work together officially, but if you're just needing to pick somebody's brain, he's a great guy to talk to. And he had said it and alluded to it, but he thinks in layers. So you're probably doing some amazing stuff already, but to be able to connect it even more with people like Foods Galore, I think that's a really good conversation. But perfect segue. Joe, tell us a little bit about you and your role at Foods Galore.
Yeah, Chase, you. Thank you so much for having me here today. Like I said, this is a first-time thing for me, so really excited to be here. But yeah, so I work for a company called Foods Galore. I proudly work for them. I've been with them upwards of a decade. I run their purchasing and marketing, and we're a family-owned and operated company, approaching 40 years in business. I work for 5 great people, 3 individual families, 2 of which have sons in the business, and 1 of which has a daughter in the business.
Wow!
So we are family through and through. We employ people that are family members. Our credit manager, his father is in sales, and it ripples all the way throughout our company, and it speaks through. So I've been with them. I've been in this industry, in the food service industry, for upwards of, 25 years now, or maybe not. Maybe since 2004. So 20 years in the food service industry with various companies, but I've been with Foods Galore for a decade, and just trying to put out there what our story's about, what we do best, who we're trying to work more with, and happy to partner with you guys. Really excited to work with John. I think he undersold himself quite a bit, connecting the dots between content creators, businesses, venues, restaurant operators, people out there trying to make a name for themselves, tell a story, and do good in the community is very hard to do. That's probably the hardest thing to do, is to connect the dots and tie it all together. So I think in my little time that I've gotten to know John, really exceptional, and he's fun to work with, and he gets it. He sees it from all angles. Mm-hmm. And, Chase, we've been watching you for a while. We've been watching you for a while. Your style is really tailored to what we like. It's polished, it's clean, it's fun, it's entertaining. And they're happy to be here with you, and thank you guys for giving me the platform to talk about Foods Galore.
Well, thank you for giving us a platform to talk a little bit more about it, and we appreciate the kind words. You said it multiple times, and I know we've talked about this, not on the podcast or vlog, whatever we want to call this right now, but Foods Galore is family, and it seems like you've just explained that through and through. And there's obviously, you guys aren't the only food distributor in the game, but you're the only one in the game that we know of that are going out there and being a part of the community. Why do you think that food is family, Foods Galore is family, Foods Galore is community resonates so deeply with you guys? You said you want to tell your story. What is that story?
Yeah, so I think me personally, when I look at it from a high level, I think in any industry, you have, your corporate companies, that serve a purpose, and you have, your real small mom and pop type companies.
People we love.
And you have companies like us. We're a mid-sized, independent, family-owned and operated company. We're probably much bigger than people realize, but we're not too big.
Speaking of somebody that was very surprised at how large you guys were, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But we operate like a small mom and pop. So in a company like ours, everybody, it's very blue collar. Everyone is working very hard. Everyone's wearing multiple hats. Your job title and your job description, you often veer outside that most of the time. And that's kind of your job description, to do whatever it takes to service our customers, to help our customers grow their businesses. We take it very seriously, and we have a lot of fun along the way. I mean, if you were to observe our business from the inside on a day-to-day basis, you'd probably think, man, these guys are crazy with how hard they work, but we're passionate. We really just want to help our customers grow their business and really help them from a service perspective. There's so many challenges out there that right now that people face, from whether it's the economy or whether it's the supply chain, and people find it very difficult to navigate. So we're going to help bridge that gap in any instance, whether it's getting your order there 100% filled, on time, at the right time, and really just make your job easier. We're a one-stop shop. We're a full broadline food service distributor, which means we have everything from frozen goods to chemicals to seafood to boxed beef.
Not to cut you off, chemicals. Let's elaborate on that so people don't think that we're selling a certain variety of chemicals. What do you what?
No, I mean,
what do you mean by
in
that?
any restaurant, you have to clean the sink, you have to clean the floors, you have to clean your dishes.
Cleaning supplies.
People don't think of that when they go out to eat. But yes, we do sell restaurants their cleaning supplies, and that's probably not the funnest thing to talk about, but we sell them toilet paper too.
Well, you know what's funny? I heard you mention something, Joe, and Chase, I can speak. I think he undersold a lot of the problems that you solve right now. One of the things that I've been doing for the last 3.5 years is talking to restaurants, talking to suppliers, talking to product people that are trying to go how can I not reach my core audience of local people? And I think I can say this, and you don't have to say anything, but Coke and Pepsi have pissed off a lot of people throughout since the pandemic, and that is just a couple of beverage companies. Some of, I would say, people that are in Joe's space have really put their boots to the neck in terms of pricing, cost, efficiency, deliveries, the amount of deliveries you have to give, the amount of deliveries that are missed. I've seen places close because of that over the last 3 or 4 years. And the one thing that I can already tell you from an outside view looking in terms of Foods Galore is that crazy mentality you talk about. First of all, you got to have that in the restaurant industry, because everybody is crazy in the restaurant industry. As someone that is very much a part of it for a very long time, it's also the biggest reason why we love it and why we'll go fight for those people, because we know the hell that they're going through in terms of anybody that tells me I just opened a restaurant, I just go, 3 years of debt. What can I do for you? It's just in the back of my mind. You're probably the same way in a lot of regards. It's just
every day, and I think that's what separates us a good deal. Everyone from the owners of our company to the people working in the warehouse, the people on the street selling our products, telling our story, to the people making the deliveries, they're always looking at it through the eyes of our customer. That guy in the restaurant if he's making chili that they have on special that day, if our truck shows up with 99.9% of their items, but we didn't deliver them their cumin spice, they can't make their chili. And that's the way we look at it. We strive for perfection. We may not always hit it, but we're striving for it every day.
Well, I think it's important that you just recognize that and address that too. Of if we don't give them that cumin, they can't make their chili. They can't make their chili. They can't make a sale. They can't make a sale. They can't pay their bills. And I think that's a beautiful thing of what you guys are doing too. And I'm so glad that we've been able to connect. And I think Pumpernicks and Pika's are two examples of that. Of you go to a place like Pika's, you go to a place like Pumpernicks, or any of the places that you guys are supplying a good amount of their products to, and we're able to showcase that. Especially post-COVID. I know we've talked about this numerous times. But post-COVID, there's been so many restaurants that are still suffering. That ripple effect's not going away anytime soon, and especially those restaurants that opened up just right after COVID or right during it, as it was in its peak. When you're able to go out there and you guys are able to support as the food distribution, kind of like helping the hand that feeds, and we're able to showcase some places that are maybe off the beaten path or just, Philadelphia is so large and people don't leave their neighborhoods. That was me. When you leave the neighborhood and go, oh my God, Pumpernicks, I didn't know exactly where North Wales is, but now I can go and get some pastrami, and I live out in Northeast Philly, and it's like, oh, this is incredible. But thanks to Foods Galore for caring about their customers to be able to give back. I think that's something that is so crucial of what you guys are doing. It's not just saying, hey, we're your food vendor, buy your stuff, and all right, thanks for your business, and we'll send you a nice holiday email here and there. No, we're going to send you these people that are going to go help promote your business, because maybe that's not what we can do. You don't have the ability to do that or the funds to do that, but we can make that happen for you.
Yeah, I mean, the more we can make their lives easier so they can focus on their business and make it more successful, then we're doing our job.
Yeah.
The less they're running around trying to fill in on products they don't have, the lower they're gonna pay on their invoices. It's all gonna help towards them growing their business and make the experience better for mom and dad and the family to go out and enjoy a great meal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it's about. When you go to an establishment, nobody should be thinking about how this place runs, right? They just want to go out with their family. They want to enjoy themselves. They don't want to think about the chef behind the scenes or the delivery guy. They just want to go out. They have jobs. They have school to take care of. They have activities to run around with. They want to make it. They want to spend their hard-earned money and have a great experience. So behind the scenes, we're just trying to make their lives easier, make them more successful, make them more money, and along the way do a lot of good. Which is what we're doing with our food show.
I was just going to ask, perfect. We're sitting right now in a beautiful space at Rivers Casino, looking over the river. So I wish you guys could see what we're seeing right now. It's gorgeous. But what was the genesis of the food expo, the food show? Like, why did it start? How long has it been running? Like, what does it mean to you guys at Foods Galore?
So, food shows have been going on since, for decades. This is not a new concept per se, but the way we approach it, we feel is very refreshing. Honestly, we look at it as a party. We look at it as a party for our vendors, for our customers, for people who are involved, like our sponsors. We first and foremost want them to come and have an awesome day. I mean, we're asking them to come on a Tuesday in the middle of the day to take time out of their lives and their businesses to come out and spend the day with us at Foods Galore. What are they going to get out of it? They're going to come and see upwards of 100 vendors that are going to be set up here, showcasing all their products, new products, you name it. And they're going to be eligible for the promotion that runs for 10 weeks ongoing after the food show. So the way that works is any of our customers or prospects that come to our show, they get latched on to a 10-week promotion where every case they buy that is shown at this food show, they're going to get rebates at the end of that 10 weeks. And along the way we've tried to make this different than a lot of other food distributors in the industry is we do approach it like a party. We have an open bar. We have a live DJ. We have sponsors here. We have Anheuser-Busch here. We have M&T Bank here. We have Chase U here. We have the Godfather of Meat who's going to be there. It's endless. We had the Mummers here perform one year.
Which band? Because that's very important to a lot of people.
Avalon, I believe.
Avalon, okay.
Yeah, my buddy Robert Eshelman. Shout out to him. He made that happen.
Robbie.
He's also one of our customers, too, not just cutlets. But Robert Eshelman, he's affiliated with the Mummers, and he made that happen. In the same year, we had different celebrity impersonators here. We had Rocky Balboa here. He was a huge hit. We had St. Joe Hawk. We've had a lot of people along the way. We really try to make it lively and fun. We have a money booth where we'll draw randomly all day. People get to go in the money booth. It's a wind tunnel. You can win as much cash as you can. But really, the main guest of the day, our guest of honor that day, is Sharon Snyder from Kisses for Kyle. So 2 years ago, we said, hey, we bring all these people to our show. Everyone has a blast. It's at a casino. Rivers is giving away casino vouchers for every customer that comes. It's such a great event. We need to tie some good into this. So we had seen her charity. We had seen what she does, and we reached out to her. So what she does is she's a true inspiration. I mean, she's a hero to everybody out there. Her story is a wonderful story that started with tragedy, really. So if you're a parent and I'm a father, you think about, the biggest nightmare you could have is that something awful is happening to your child or your children. So she lived through that. She literally lived through that. Her son was diagnosed with cancer at a very young age. She had to witness that suffering. She had to experience it. She had to bury her son and then come out of that, right? So put yourself in that scenario. You have every excuse in the world to curl up into a ball and, just cocoon yourself from the outside world for the rest of your life. But instead, what she did was she recognized how challenging it was for her to pay her bills as she was going through that fight with her family. And she started a foundation to help families that are going through that same struggle she went through, to help support them soup to nuts. So to date, she supports over 700 families fully.
Holy cow.
That are experiencing the effects of their children having cancer, which is the most devastating thing. So when I think about her story, and there's days where we have all bad days, I think that, what she went through, and what I'm going through, trying to get corned beef and pastrami and peas and ham out to the public, it's not so bad. So we've developed such a great friendship with her. She's affiliated with every event we do. We're so proud of that. We love her. I've become close personal friends with her. My daughter is going to participate in other events that she's doing, like her Day at the Beach on June 15th. She does a huge Day at the Beach for all her families in Ocean City. We'll be there. My daughter will be there. My wife will be there. My parents will be there. So she's become an extension of our family personally and at Foods Galore too. So you're going to get to meet her, and we're thrilled that, for every customer that comes, we're going to donate $10 for her charity with a minimum guarantee of $5,000 that day on the spot. We did it last year. She had a blast. She had such a great time, and we're thrilled to do it again. So we want, hundreds of people here so we can donate even more money to her and her wonderful charity. So I'm glad you asked. Thank you.
Yeah, what an incredible story. You get chills as you're hearing that. And just to know that you guys are bringing her here to donate to the charity, to be able to help families that are going through that same incredibly challenging, troubling struggle. There's no other way to describe it. That's incredible.
Yeah, she's a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, she had every opportunity and every excuse to just bury herself and give up. I mean, that's the single worst thing you could imagine to have to go through. So to pull through that, and now she's huge. I mean, she's affiliated with the Philadelphia Phillies and so many other people and businesses and companies. She does events. She does her Ladybug Ball in October. We're going to be there doing that. So, yeah, hats off to Sharon Snyder. She is truly the inspiration of my life, and we're so happy that she's going to be here. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, she's the best.
It's like especially when somebody can, the adversity of all that, and to take something that probably affects way more people than we tend to think about too. Like it's just, and there tends to be so many communities that need help. So I'm so glad that like you guys have that kind of friendship moving forward and being able to be almost synonymous with the charity. And like, I don't know, I'm already like hearing you say this, I have like a ton of ideas that I'm like not sure if I should even say on mic, because like, I think we could make some great partnerships together with restaurants, with Sharon, with you, in terms of like, if hey, if they're treating you like family, you're treating Sharon like family, there's got to be a way to kind of bring all that together. So
yeah, and it ties in with our mentality. It's all family at Foods Galore. We hit people with that line all the time. Foods Galore's family. We really look at it like that. And families argue. Behind the scenes, there's plenty of arguments. You know what I mean? That is what makes it a family. Behind closed doors, you could really have those tough discussions, those tough, disagreements on which way to help grow your business and which direction to go, which person to hire, which person to have handle this account. But when you walk out of that room, you're unified. You stick together, and at the end of the day, generally, you're going to come to some sort of conclusion that's going to help our company. And fortunately for us, along the years, specifically the last 5 to 6 years, we've made a lot of good decisions that help our business. But the key behind every single decision is what is going to help our customers the most. That is truly the truth. But whether it's which vendor we're going to bring in, whether it's which category we want to develop, whether it's seafood, produce, box beef, non-foods, paper goods, we're all doing it so that we could help deliver more and better to our customers. So that we could be a one-stop shop, which we are. So they don't need to buy from 3 different purveyors to get 3 different invoices and 3 different deliveries at 3 different times. We want them to come to Foods Galore and feel absolutely confident that they're going to get their order on time and they're going to pay, a fair price that is probably less than what they're going to pay with other distributors.
And is there something that you often hear from like your clients, customers, and stuff of like, what do they want right now the most? I'm just curious if there's been a trend or anything that you've picked up on, because I know things tend to move quickly in the restaurant industry, and there's always some different vibe that somebody's trying to catch.
In terms
right
of like
away
a product category?
Yeah, products are just, if you noticed what, the more meat heading out than this or the others, there a trend that we're picking up.
For a while, the whole keto thing, with people shying away from carbs and things like that really took toll. Vegan is a hot word right now. That is a trend. In our industry, we have to keep up to date with trends. And vegan is a trend that's out there. Gluten-free is another thing. But really, it all depends on the nature of your establishment. If you're a bagel shop, and you're slinging breakfasts and lunches, that stuff's going to be more important to you. If you're pumpernicks, how you make and prepare your corned beef and pastrami, and where you get your rye bread, or do you make your rye bread? That's what's most important to you. So everyone has different items along the way that are their core items. So we factor that in all the time. We want to make sure people are getting the products that they need the most, but we don't lose sight of the fact that that guy's going to need that chili just as much as he's going to need his ribeye.
Yeah. When you're able to go to places like Pumpernicks or Pika's or any of the other places that you shared with us, how does it feel to know, like, one of their top sandwiches, like, we're providing the base for that, like we're the ones who are able to be participating in what makes an experience at a place like Pumpernicks or Pika's?
Believe it or not, we don't think of that whatsoever.
Really?
No, not at all. That's they should pride themselves on that.
Right.
As much as I want to try to make a corned beef special and you want to make a corned beef special, nobody's going to make it quite like Famous on 4th Street or Pumpernicks, right?
Yeah.
So the truth is, they're the star of that show.
Oh, undeniably, but
we're behind.
You still need a beef to cook.
Yeah, we just look at it like we're doing our job. We're doing our part. We are a small part of what they do. At least in our eyes, we may be bigger than that to them. Mm-hmm. But look, they deal with their own staffing issues. They deal with their own landlord to pay their lease. We're cognizant that we are a piece of what they do, but what brings the magic to life is how they do it.
Yeah, undeniably. I mean, the humility, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, come on, dude. I was like, first and foremost, as like a guy that was an assistant general manager, person that did the ordering, you had to be best friends with those people because...
Well, for sure. Relationships is this business.
Oh, totally.
And in most businesses, people like to do business with people that they jive with, they connect with, they relate to, that they can talk to about their struggles, their joys, their kids' successes. That's what separates us. We conduct ourselves like you are a friend of ours because you are a friend of ours, and that's how we choose to do business.
Yeah.
If
guys
you
keep
call
talking.
Foods
I wanna
Galore
make sure this is
tomorrow,
recording.
Oh yeah, yeah.
if you
guys
called
keep
Foods
talking.
Galore tomorrow, most likely, you're going to get one of the owners on the phone.
Exactly.
That is the deal.
It's not a portal service. It's not like there isn't somebody that just kind of slams it together and expects it to be there. There isn't, a lot of the times when I ordered from those bigger companies all of the time, I would run into the same issues. There'd always be like, whatever. You end up having to split off like, all right, well, I'm not going to order paper supplies now from this same person because they screwed me on the mushrooms that came in or like whatever it is. And it makes your job harder. So when we find people like you who actually understand all that, it does make their jobs easier. And yeah, you're not the star, but sure. But
You're a key player.
You're
Yeah.
like basically the coach of the restaurant in my mind. So,
like I said, we're literally just trying to make their lives simpler and more profitable. That is at the end of the day what we do for them.
And I think in the short-lived relationship that we have, it's evident. So how does a thing like the Foods Galore Food Expo help you guys or help your customers?
Yeah, so the food show it's just such a spectacular event in so many regards. All right, so number one, first and foremost, we're bringing everybody together. So we're dealing with vendors and broker partners. We're dealing with a team of sales reps. We're dealing with our own company, and then we're dealing with our customers. So this event in this venue is a perfect way to get everyone together to, number one, showcase what we're about and what we have to offer them. But number two, they're gonna get savings along the way, okay, and they're gonna have a great time. So the tagline of Foods Galore is always and always will be value for all. Okay, so when we throw together a food show like this, we literally look through the eyes of the vendor, what's most important to them. For the customer, what's most important for them? What's going to get them take time out of their day on a busy Tuesday to come here and spend the day with us? So we make sure there's incentives, there's prizes, there's rebates, there's an open bar, there's a DJ, there's 100 vendors with amazing food and new trending food products that they're going to get to see that they can incorporate into their menus. They're going to get that in-person consultative touch from over 100 vendors of how they can incorporate these new items or these existing items more differently into their menus. So, at the end of the day, we want them to walk away feeling like, wow, that was such a great use of our time. And then we're going to get to latch on to the promotional effort that happens afterwards. And in the meantime, we got to connect with our sales rep and we got to meet this vendor. And I set up an appointment with this broker, and they're going to help me design my menu differently. There's so many facets of the show. And then, behind the scenes of it all, we're donating to charity. We're bringing people together. We're having a great time. There's music playing. There's a bar. Anheuser-Busch is here. They make custom-made, on-the-spot mugs with your name engraved on it.
very cool.
Gonna need one of them, Jesse. Gonna need one of them.
So it's truly value for all. We want our vendors to come and feel like they got the most bang for their buck. We want them to feel like they're about to grow their business with us, and they got the vendors, through our eyes, they want connectivity to the customers and our sales team. Yeah. That's what they're after. They want to connect with them. They want that in-person consultative sell. They want to highlight why their product is differentiated and different from their competitor's product. And so we try to be very selective in who we bring in. We deal with a number of companies that have some crossover. So our job is to really try to focus on who's the horse we want to ride. Who is the best partner to Foods Galore that's going to help our existing customer base pick the best products and menu them properly.
Yeah, it also sounds like it's a big thank you to everybody who's been a supporter of Foods Galore over the years.
For sure. I mean, we do thank them. That is the end.
It's a big badge.
At the end of the day, we want our customers to come and feel like, wow, that was such a great time. I can't wait to go back next year, or I can't wait to be at their event in the fall, whatever that may be. We're very cognizant of the fact that it's their time, and they need to have a return on it. They need to come and feel like they walked away with one new idea to put on their menu or one cool new product that they want to do. And at the end of the 10-week period, they're going to get a check. For every item that they buy from us 10 weeks thereafter, they're just accumulating rebate points, which is going to just come to them in the form of a check.
Man, a Tuesday morning to late afternoon.
Yeah, come and have a great time.
at Rivers Casino with a bunch of food that I probably want to come and eat, but with 90 vendors. It's going to be hard to choose a favorite out of that.
Pace yourself.
But we're going to pace ourselves.
Pace yourself.
But the beauty of this is we can have some Anheuser-Busch. We can make some sales. We can make some new contacts. We can understand each other a little better. Then we can go hit the craps table, baby. I mean, you can't get better
You're
than
gonna have
that.
Stella. You're gonna have 2 moods
with our brand new
Two
mugs.
moods,
Our
yes.
brand new mugs are going to be there from Anheuser-Busch. Shout out to you, Jesse. Appreciate everything you do. No, I mean it does. It really sounds like a party. And John, you had just said it. It's gonna be hard to choose like who's the favorite vendor, who are the favorite vendors, and I'm sure it's hard to choose like favorite restaurants and stuff. But I gotta ask, like you're working with a lot of people, and I know you can't pick favorites, but what are some restaurants and some items that maybe Foods Galore provides that have really stuck out to you that you're like, damn, everyone needs to give it a shot. Go give it a shot. Like who is that?
Can I give a recommendation just on visual alone? The pastrami at Pumpernicks.
Boy, let me tell you.
All right, so
Yo.
that's a great
crazy.
I mean, that's
That was
a great.
crazy.
That is a great segue into our company's roots. So, Foods Galore literally was founded and started from individuals selling food off the back of their trucks. They're called jobbers, okay? And it was a collection of 3 jobbers that were working independently and separately, competing in the marketplace. And we were primarily a deli distributor. You know, we were selling, you know, the big time delis, you know, that this area is known for. So that was the company's roots. These individuals came together and decided to warehouse their products in 1986. And that is literally the company's roots. We have a picture of one of the first trucks that someone was selling food off the back of it. And there's still people out there that do that, believe it or not. And they work really hard, jobbers. But and now currently we like to think those people buy from us, and they help support the restaurant industry in this area too. But that is our company's roots. We've grown to become a full-service broadline distributor, so we sell diners and pizza shops, hoagie shops, caterers, white tablecloth, you name it. You know, we're selling them, and we're able to do that all the way down to Virginia, up to Brooklyn, and over to Carlisle, PA, over to the New Jersey shore. So we have a wide reach, and that is the company's roots. So, you know, while we've expanded quite well into pizza and deli, and seafood and box beef, you know, deli, you know, is at our core. You know, it's basically in the DNA of Foods Galore. So we do that very well. Turkey products, roast beef products, you know, so all the big delis, all the famous delis that you go to, the Jaime's, the famous on 4th Street, the
yes.
Pumpernicks, the Ben
Jaime's, man. Have you been to Jaime's yet?
No,
Oh, brother,
yet. I
we have
know.
got to take you over there. What are we doing,
I know.
guys?
we do.
Shout out to everybody who does their
well.
social over there. I think it's Out of the Box Productions. They're
Okay.
amazing at it. So shout out to them. But yeah, Jaime's is. You guys supply Jaime? No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder.
And,
See, like that's what I love to find out. I was like, oh wow, it's a Foods Galore place.
Yeah.
And
So you
even
gotta
furthermore, I mean, look, we're in Philadelphia, right? And what is Philadelphia the home of? The cheesesteak. So, I mean, we sell upwards of 3 million pounds of cheesesteak meat a year.
I'm sure I've eaten a lot of it just this year alone. So
like-
there's that.
1
And
million
yeah,
between
I mean,
him
look,
and Godfather.
People like
Meat.
yourself are out there selling cheesesteaks and trying different cheesesteaks, and everyone likes different. Everyone likes it different.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite, I mean, it's easy. It's really easy and popular to say Angelo's.
Sure, absolutely. It's
Okay,
delicious.
and they are one of my favorites. If probably, you know, I don't have a particular favorite per se. I probably have a top 3.
This guy,
All right.
his smart
That's
answer.
it.
No,
Smart
I do
answer.
have a top 3, and I would put Angelo's in there.
Sure, that's fair.
I would put John's roast pork in there, and you know, someone that does not get a lot of chatter is Campos. I'm a huge fan.
Let me say this respectfully. Boo!
I'm a fan.
For putting that number 3.
Why is that?
I don't know. Campos is just like I don't know, like a nothing burger to me. Like it doesn't taste like anything. Is that weird?
I'm a fan.
No.
I like the way they do the onions. I think they do the raw onions, which I like.
Yeah, I don't mind Campos. I do think they're slept on a little bit, but I can understand why. But my top 3, and I people ask me all the time, they're like, who's your number 1? Can you say it off camera? I'll say it right on camera. Number 1 is Cafe Carmela in Northeast Philadelphia.
You get crap for that. too.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Bring it on. But then my number 2 and 3 are Angelo's and John's, and they can fight for who wants to be 2 and 3.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal, and it depends on any given day of who's going to be number 2 and
The
number
beauty of the cheesesteak, though, I mean, in everyone's neighborhood, they have a pizza place, a burger joint that is slinging a cheesesteak now.
Yep.
Okay, and they're the sleepers that don't get the most publicity, and I think that's what you're helping bring to the table.
Yeah, well,
bring in the eyes of for example, my buddy Rich Tomasio, who goes by the moniker N.A. Poe, has a place right in Fishtown, Kensington area called Poe Sandwich Joint. He puts together some of the best sandwiches in the area. I mean, he's won awards.
Have to add that to the list.
And he has a cheesesteak on his menu that's done with a little different touch. There's a different sauce on there, or a different side on there, or a mushroom on there, or like a kimchi that he'll put on there.
Nice.
Okay, so now we're really pushing against the grain. You said mushroom, you said sauce, and I was
Shout
like,
out to my great friend N.A. Poe. His restaurant and establishment is doing amazing, and you should go check him out. He's a character too. So
I love that. N.A. Poe, we're coming for you.
go to N.A. Poe's,
but
Poe Sandwich Joint.
I do agree. I think I've said this before. Like when I first started doing the cheesesteak reviews, so many of the mom and pop corner shops had a really good cheesesteak, and you're sleeping on them if you don't go to them. However, the cheesesteak game has changed drastically, and I think a big reason due to Angelo's, which happens to be a mom and pop one in from the corner pizza shop. And I think that's like the perfect analogy or like microcosm of this is what I mean. But you still have places like John's, which is a sandwich shack, but then Cafe Carmela is an Italian restaurant at first, which just so happens to make the best cheesesteak in Philadelphia. But I think that's the beauty of it, is that there's so many of those places, but all of the neighborhood spots traditionally have like a cheesesteak place. There was Joe's in Northeast Philadelphia. Now there's Steve's in Northeast Philly. Stoley's in Northeast Philly. Can you tell where I'm from? And but there's also all the places that are down in South Philly, which is such a food mecca in this city. I mean, it has everything. But that's the whole goal, right?
It's the unheard of, right? It's the unheard ofs that you grew up eating in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I mean, D'Alessandro's, I've been very clear, I don't like D'Alessandro's. But D'Alessandro's, Chubby's, and then also
Henry James Saloon, I'll throw in there too, which is right across the street, literally right across the street from there.
But like people love D'Alessandro's and Chubby's. And who is it? Larry's? It's not Larry's. There's another place that's down there that I cannot think of right now. But people love it because that's where they grew up, in Manayunk and Roxborough, and everybody's got their neighborhood spot, which I think is incredible. And they're wrong sometimes, but they're great.
There's a place near me called Johnny Paisano's.
That's a fun name.
They put little bits of prosciutto in their cheesesteak.
Really?
I forget what they call it.
Delicious,
special name for
probably.
it. But, again, that's like it's. I could walk there from my house.
Yeah.
It's a go-to, and it's all about convenience, right? You can't always go into the city and get the Angelo's or the John's Roast Pork. Yeah. So a lot of times people resort to their neighborhood places.
Right. And again, there's so many good places, and those next level cheesesteaks sometimes come with a price. So sometimes the pizza shop is just it's a better value, taste wise, money wise. But there's so many great places. But I want to wrap back around it, because I don't want to say you danced around the question. But Joe, who are some of your favorite spots that you guys supply?
I named a bunch. I said all the delis. Obviously, I grew up. My family is near and dear to Pika's. I mean, that was the Pika.
Yo, gosh, we're going to Pika's.
That was the pizza that I grew up on. Every single week.
So Pika's or Santucci's? Same family, different pizza.
Man,
depends on where you're from. I would have to say you're probably going to vote Pika's. I'm going to vote Santucci's. Pika's is delicious, though.
They did just open a Santucci's in Media, which we've frequented quite a bit.
Okay.
My wife and daughter and I.
What type of Santucci's is it? Which family?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
And I'll be honest, we don't.
It's crazy.
We don't sell the one in Media.
Yeah.
Okay. Billy O'Toole, he's our sales rep that handles Santucci's. I'm waiting for him to get Santucci's Media, but right now they don't buy from us. But still, my family orders from them.
Now hold up a second for my brain.
Yeah.
Santucci's.
Yeah.
That I went to belovedly on Catherine or whatever that is right. They're on Catherine in Philadelphia.
Cottman.
Sure. Are they in Cottman?
Well, I don't know which, because they're set.
That's what I'm saying. There is a Santucci's. Unless I'm making things up in my head, I lived on Broad and Christian forever. Okay. There's a Santucci's that is literally down on Catherine.
I couldn't tell you what intersection, but that's a different. Yeah. That's a different family. That is.
What is going on? So is it two different? Is it two different? Is it the? Are they all together? Do they share profits?
They operate individually.
It's like one of those things where I don't want to say because I don't want to talk about it. But we have Santucci's. We have Filomena Santucci's.
Yeah, Filomena Santucci's.
Filomena Santucci's.
That's different.
Is different from Joe Santucci's, which is different from Santucci's. All the same family. All terribly different.
then I cannot. I literally have to retest all of them because there is a certain Santucci's out there which I would say Pika's would dominate, but I didn't. I can't.
I don't
say
see
which
them
one.
as even near the same kind of pizza. I don't.
What do you mean?
I know they're both a square pie.
They're square pie with sauce on top. What are
They're
you
both a
talking
square
about?
pie, but I believe they are so different. I really do. I don't taste similarity at all. Maybe it's just the taste.
Okay.
As much
Maybe
different.
start with that next time because I agree that the
Look,
sauce
whether
is
circle, square, triangle, rectangle. To me, they're very different pizzas.
I do. So to that, not to bust your chops. Yes, I think they're incredibly similar and vastly different at the same time. The sauce is much, much different, but that's also in saying the same thing that Joe Santucci's is so different from Philomena Santucci's.
Santucci's is thicker too.
It is a thicker crust.
They're definitely thick.
And they don't go all the way to the end with the
Yes.
sauce, which it's easier to eat. But again, I'm biased. I grew up there. But no, Pika's, I do like it, and I also I want to eat inside there because it looks magical.
yeah.
It looks like you're just stepping into Delco.
Yeah, it's a time
When you
warp.
go in
There's no
there.
question, it's a time warp. They credit to them. They've been a staple in Upper Darby, Drexel Hill for years. I mean, I think over 100 years. So to be able to
Impressive.
stay relevant for that amount of time,
Yeah.
in an environment like the Northeast, specifically, the Philadelphia region, where pizza places are opening rampantly, left and right every single week. I mean, to be able to withstand that type of competitive nature in this region and still remain, one of people's favorite pizzas, especially in that area. I know once you go into the Northeast, people like yourself, I don't think Pika's gets the scores that they deserve. But
No, and
I mean, look, that's everyone's personal flair, their personal opinion on what's best.
Pika's is the OG too. Like the Pika's and Santucci's family are related. They're cousins. Yeah. They're cousins.
What is this piece of madness connection?
Yeah.
No wonder. All right.
So it depending on when the podcast drops. We talked a bit with Nick from Philomena Santucci's, and they've done a great job the way that their family has run the business, and they're very family oriented and all of those fun things. Nick's one of my favorite people to talk to, just business wise too, or business wise as well. But Pika's was the OG. Like they started, and then I think it's Nick's dad wanted to open up in Northeast Philly, but they wanted to do something a little bit different. He's like, "Oh, I'm just going to open it up and call it Santucci's," or something like that. He'll elaborate on it he did elaborate on it in the podcast. So make sure to go check that one out. But yeah, there's like this lovely little pizza family that Santucci's and Pika's kind of own. But I think what you were kind of saying with how impressive it is that they've been around for so long and so dominant for so long is just how generational it is. There's people that will move away from Delco. There's people that'll move away from Northeast Philadelphia.
People move away from Delco.
Yeah, right? They just move around Delco. But then they always find themselves going back and being like, yo, Kosh, this is the best pizza. You got to come here, dude. This is it. And no, Joe Santucci's is way better than Philomena's, or vice versa. Or like, no, you can't. You got to go to Upper Darby Pika's. That's the only Pika's. Westchester Pika's doesn't even count. So like, I think there's such a beauty in the Philadelphia area where people are like, oh no, I've been coming here for since I was a kid, and now their kids are going there, and it just keeps everything so strong. I think that's the beauty of these neighborhood places, and that's why we like showcasing.
Yeah. And honestly, I have had this debate before, and I think we've reached another point because you even said pizza's booming again here in Philly. There's a bunch of new great places that I think are popping up for sure. However, I'm going to get shit for this. Okay, I apologize for cursing. We can edit that out. Is Philadelphia a pizza town, or is it a town with a lot of places with pizza in it? And I would lean a town with a lot of places with pizza in it.
Leave.
And this is,
I think it's absolutely a pizza town.
I think it's a sandwich town.
It leads with cheesesteaks for sure.
And I think it's definitely
Yeah.
cheesesteak
I want
town.
to finish that
Yeah.
thought. I want you to finish that thought.
But I like Chicago makes better pizza than Philadelphia. I'm sorry. We have to accept this at some point. So does New Jersey and New York. It is okay. And it's okay. It doesn't mean we have bad pizza. But I'm saying, and all you people that are yelling about a deep dish can calm down because the crispiness, thin crust of any Chicago pie dominates anything in Philadelphia. I hate to say that.
Oh yeah, you want to get a Chicago pie, a thin crispy? Just order a thin crust from Domino's. It's the same thing.
Oh my
It's the
God,
same
that's so
thing.
not true. That is so not true. And
I've never had a Chicago
know-
thin crust in my life.
I'll gladly
had
enjoy
Chicago
my
deep dish. I mean, it's spectacular.
I've had a deep dish,
Deep
but yeah,
dish
I
is
want
great.
I think that's what people. And Portnoy was the one who informed me of this when he did a Chicago pizza tour. The real Chicago is like a circle square
Yes.
tavern style pizza,
Yes.
Yeah.
which it does.
triangles, and it just I don't know what they do to it.
I will say the best pizza that's out there, in my opinion, Detroit pizza.
That style.
With the
Well, there's a place in
caramelized
Havertown called Crust. I believe.
Crust. I've heard about
Yeah.
Crust. There's a place in Hatboro, shout out to Hatboro, called Steel Penny.
All right.
That they got a guy named Chef Dean who's back there whipping up Detroit style pizzas that are absolutely phenomenal. There's another place, Collegeville Italian Bakery, that's got at least 12 different styles of Detroit style pizza that's on there. Actually, Brandon Graham has one, and I think it's $1 from every pizza sold goes to the Eagles Autism Foundation.
That's amazing.
So yeah, they do a really great job. Shout out to Steve at Collegeville Italian Bakery, but
So I guess
Detroit's phenomenal.
Am I wrong on this? Then is there
I
just
think
so
you're
much
wrong.
good Philadelphia pizza that it's just like
I think
I
much
definitely
like
think you're wrong.
much like Philadelphia, this is true to all things Philadelphia. We're an underdog pizza city. Underdog, hungry
that's a great way
dog,
to put
hungry
it.
dogs run faster and they eat more,
That's a
baby.
great way to put it. I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah, because I mean, you do. Angelo's makes a great pizza. Pizza Shack and Maxim makes a great pizza. Technically, though, this is in Philadelphia. The shirt we're rocking, Johnny's new kid on the block, 26-year-old
totally
kid.
counts. Yeah,
Johnny's is phenomenal.
the area, the
Who's
Delaware
also
Valley.
like
Yeah.
Johnny's is also within like the Santucci's family tree. He used to work there.
All right, that's okay.
Yeah, so he's not a relative, but he used to work there, and now he's got his place.
Just like
in it.
everybody worked at Lebec Finn when it was around.
Yeah,
Everybody
we're
worked
all
their way through
connected
there,
somehow,
so,
right?
yeah.
We all know each other. I mean, dude, I drive down the street and I say to my wife, "Oh my god, I know that kid. I go to high school with him," because everybody in Philly knows everybody somehow.
I think you're right, though. In what you say is a sandwich town.
I think it's a sandwich town.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll put it up against.
That would be hard to
anybody.
argue with.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Well, I think people underplay the sandwiches that are in Philly too, because yeah, we are known for cheesesteaks first, but then you have the
so much more than that.
the hidden gem or the forgotten child of Philly in a roast pork sandwich.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
that's my go-to.
really
I mean,
okay.
even above the cheesesteak.
Really?
Absolutely.
Who's your go-to spot? Is it the Nick's? Is it John's? Is it somewhere else?
John's without a
Yeah,
doubt. John's
okay.
roast pork without a doubt. I mean, that's the easy answer.
yeah.
It is so good though. Like it's
Sorry.
the John's roast pork. Everybody goes, yeah. Give me something else. I can't, man.
Yeah, I don't want anything.
I'll be honest, man.
I can't.
We don't. My family doesn't really go out for the roast pork sandwich very often. Okay, we order the roast pork from the deli with, we'll make our own broccoli rabe, we'll buy the sharp provolone, we'll get the seeded rolls, and we're doing the roast pork at our house. That's what we do.
That's a
what we
labor
like.
of love right there. I like that. I like that a lot.
That's what when we're getting roast pork, we're making it a family affair, no doubt about it. We're inviting over the close friends, the aunts and uncles, and we're putting the pot on with the gravy, with the roast pork au jus, and we're putting and our go-to there is two spots: Severa's in Drexel Hill, 100% roast pork, and Pagano's in Havertown.
Pagano's.
dude,
yes.
I've heard so many people have told me to go to Pagano's. There's a
Yeah,
place,
you're missing out if you don't. Go to
there's a place around the corner, Township Line Pizza, that does
yeah,
it.
Township Line.
Yeah, they do such an amazing Nashville hot chicken slider, and it's right around the
those
corner
guys.
from Pagano's. And people are like, "You
Yeah.
got to go to both," and it's like, I don't have the stomach capacity.
We love ordering the roast pork, pounds of it to go
I was
along.
looking at your stomach because it looks like you do have the capacity for both.
That is
there.
the one drawback of the food industry, man.
yeah, I put on a couple lbs since doing this.
Oh yeah, dude. Are you
But
kidding me? Yeah.
Well worth it if it means that we're out there supporting people. There is a sandwich from Nick's, not the Nick's down in Reading Terminal, but over in New Jersey. Little shack that you're going to drive past every single time if you don't know it's there. One of the best roast pork sandwiches I've ever had. They put roasted reds on there. They got a little balsamic glaze that's on there.
Yeah, you could do it so many
Oh,
ways.
so good. I think that's the beauty of people get so upset if you mess with a cheesesteak, but you could do whatever you want to a roast pork sandwich, and people are like, "Yeah, dude, no, it's roasted reds. Yeah, throw it on there.
Absolutely.
Oh, you want to do
Broccoli
fresh
rabe,
mozz instead
roasted
of sharp?
reds,
Do it.
banana peppers.
But you touch
cherry
a
peppers.
cheesesteak, and it's like, no.
But why can't
dare
we
you.
get down with the heat on a cheesesteak? Like we are. So,
That's what I love about the. You're right. I mean, I'm sorry to
Yeah,
cut you
no,
off.
no.
John. That you're right. I mean, to me, my favorite places are the ones that put the spin on it. You could always have your traditional style with the whiz or the whiz with whatever, but I really do like the variety of people mixing it up a little bit. You know, like I said with my buddy Poe, he puts I think he puts kimchi on
Kimchi's
one of them.
crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
It's nuts, but there's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, it's that's why I'm a dork. I love
All
Woodrow's.
right, now, Mike, mayo on a cheesesteak, yes or no?
Absolutely.
I would do it. I think so. I've argued with people about this ad nauseum because I grew up on top of a pizza shop. My dad owns a pizza shop, so I've seen the orders that have come in. I've made. I shouldn't say I've made them, but I watched them come in. I've watched them be made. There are so many people in Philly who do salt, pepper, ketchup, mayo on a cheesesteak, and it is divine. And I will fight anybody who's like, "No, that's not a real Philly cheesesteak." Yes, it is. I think that's a completely acceptable condiment that goes on there. So
I'm going to make fun of you for the ketchup every single time, but I'm going to allow you to eat
the
it.
connection, absolutely phenomenal. Pickles was also a thing that we saw a lot, and I could see where that's non-traditional. A lot of people have done that.
No.
My father-in-law, once when I ordered that, he's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah,
He's like,
mushrooms,
"Just leave
absolutely.
my daughter." Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
mushrooms, the fried onions.
Yep.
And lately, I like the Cooper Sharp with a little bit of whiz as well.
Really
Interesting.
double down
Sharp.
on the cheese. Okay.
Yeah, but
I
not
got you
not overdone with the whiz. But
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, Cooper Sharp, obviously, the
Okay.
Kodo. But the Cooper Sharp with the touch of the whiz, fried onions, and mushrooms. End of
Now,
story.
That's something I
End of
got
story.
because I'm the
I gotta
same.
eat less of them.
It's tough. It's tough when they're that good.
I guess I'm not picking a bone with you.
Right.
I'm kind of picking a bone with us.
Okay.
I'm not a mushroom guy on cheesesteaks. I think they don't belong there.
Same. I don't like them.
But it's steak and mushrooms. That is like the perfect combo.
Right. I
If
never
done
got
right.
It's too earthy. There's too much of that earthiness from a mushroom for me.
Ah.
It's also a texture thing. Like sometimes the mushrooms are cooked too quick. They get a little mushy, little
got
jelly.
you.
Yeah.
I don't like 'em.
I like them like well done almost. Like
Sure. Okay.
crispy and brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's
and finely chopped up. I just don't think you've had it the right
finely
way yet.
chopped. I don't think I have either.
I don't think you have.
I don't.
I made fun of Justin Renfro the other day because he put mushrooms on his cheesesteak, and
Yeah.
he goes, well, I said, "What do you mean, just like at home?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Nobody puts
So acceptable.
mushrooms." I was like, "That's," and he's like,
Such a normal
"This
thing.
is
And
what I do."
I think it's one of those things where you're not going to get it at like the big name places, right? But you go to your neighborhood mom and pop shop, and it's like, yeah, dude, that's just completely normal. But even
Yeah.
a place like Steve's, they got it up on the menu for extras. So, but I want to get to doing a little spice on a cheesesteak. You know who's a big fan of that? Godfather of Meat. Yeah, putting
Yes.
long hots
Yeah,
on
he's
there.
out there doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he likes the long
Can't wait
hots.
to meet him.
They're great guy, great dude. Mike, love you. Always gonna do my impersonation of Mike. Here we are. You got to get a seeded roll, Cooper Sharp. It's my favorite. He's one of the nicest guys that I've met.
Now, do that. Except now, put long hots on. I got to hear how he would do it.
That sounds amazing.
So I got my Cooper Sharp
think a
on
lot
a
of
seeded
people
roll here from Altamonte's, where you know what? I'm changing the game a little bit because I got long hots on there. That's how I usually am gonna do it. But no,
That is fantastic.
They have Altamonte's in Doylestown and in Warminster. They have a cacio e pepe cheesesteak that's phenomenal.
Holy moly!
It is a black pepper Cooper Sharp that's on there. Their house-made semolina roll,
Yeah.
phenomenal. And then Mike, Godfather Meat, decided to put the long hots on there, and I'm sure it was phenomenal because I had one of their long hot stuffed, their cheesesteak stuffed long hot that they gave me. Insane.
Say-
So the
So
word is
insane.
Godfather of Meat makes a mean cheesesteak.
He does.
Okay.
I've had it. It's very, very good.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Now, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, all these different content creators out there, everyone's got a different personality, a different shtick, a different lingo, a different style,
Different catchphrase or phrases.
and with that, I have to believe come your fair share of haters.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how you deal with the haters.
Enjoy the show, baby. Thanks for watching. You know what? If you had enough time to leave a comment on my video, you watched it. You gave me the engagement. So please continue to do so because all that's doing is helping me. There's been a lot of people who have mentioned that. They're like, how do you deal with all this? I've even created a series called Chirpin' with Chase where I highlight some of my favorite ones.
Oh, that's funny.
I am so blessed to be able to do what I do and go out there and help businesses and go out there and have fun doing this with my wife or with you guys, whoever it might be. I'm probably doing really okay if I can continue to do this and be able to make a business out of this. And the best you can do is spend your time watching me be successful. Have at it, brother.
Well, I think
Say
what
whatever you
stands
wanna
out
say.
is, to me, I like and I follow and I pay attention to the people that are out there being themselves and not and doing it unapologetically. You know, what I mean, I think there's a number of them. I think the allure, and what we saw in you, Chase, is that you're yourself and you do it the right way. You're out there just trying to highlight businesses, and there's nothing wrong with the fact that, there are people coming to you, like people like us, trying to help them get their story out and their word out differently or better,
Yeah, and I
or more
appreciate that.
efficiently. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, whether people want to admit it or not, there are companies of varying sizes that don't have the proper resources to develop that. Okay, and I think that's where you need to look in the mirror and say, can we do this differently? Can we differentiate ourselves? And if we're not the best at it, let's talk to people who can help us with it and get our story out there. And all the way, we can provide value for them in the same token. So I think that's, the beauty of what we've done together. We're finding value in each other. And I said it along the way earlier in this podcast, it's value for all.
Right.
I mean, that is Foods Galore's tagline, value for all. And, I think what you're doing, if I were you, I think you answered the question perfectly. But, it's just that you're being yourself and you're having fun doing what you're doing and you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
So take it or leave it. Who cares?
No, like I said,
that's what it is. And that's how people should approach their lives in general.
Yeah, enjoy the
be
show.
yourself.
It's not your opinion of me. I've said this a lot, but their opinion of me, if it's going to be negative, means absolute dog shit to me. I couldn't care less if somebody's got a negative comment to say. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, which businesses and brands have appreciated. When we had Berardi Brothers say, we sold out of rolls 3 weeks straight after you guys came through. And it was me, the Godfather of Meat, and then pancakes and protein shakes. Or when Johnny's messages me and says, I hate you and love you at the same time, because once you drop the review, we've sold more cheesesteaks today alone than we have an entire week of being here. That makes, I get chills talking about it now, because that means so much to me that I've been able to have that type of impact. And I can never guarantee that. And I can only hope that I can get you one more slip in your door. And that's it. And when we get those messages, again, somebody has something negative to say, of like, oh, I can't believe you're doing this, or you look like a fat version of Dave Portnoy, which is one of my favorite chirps of all time.
It's an amazing compliment either way.
If I make you think about Portnoy, who's built this incredible brand, whether you love him or you don't, awesome, thank you. But again, your opinion of me, if it's negative, means absolute dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, Portnoy probably did set the tone. I mean, I don't think anyone was out there doing reviews before he was.
I'll say
there's probably a lot of people who disagree, but I know I didn't take notice to them.
No, I would say that they're especially, I think, much like a lot of creators over the pandemic, he really tuned up, because there wasn't a bunch of things that you could really do. Plus, he had started, I'm not trying to diss him at all. I'm just saying, like, he took all the right steps. He raised funds for a bunch of different restaurants when they were trying to hold on, and like, I think it was really smart for him to do. But you partnered with Slice, great. Like, I think that's all perfect, And the thing that I see the most too is just, if I'm just going to sit here and brag about Chase, honestly, because this is great. It gives me a platform to do it.
Well, thank you.
But like, I think both of us kind of see it in the same way of the restaurant industry, just like you said, Joe. Like, they don't have a lot of time, one, to think about an executioning plan of like, how do we sell more cheesesteaks? How do we get more pizzas out of our door?
There's no question.
It's the day-to-day of like, I got to lower my cost. All the stuff you said, worrying about staff, worrying about that. So we both agree that like putting the stress of even him coming out to a restaurant, and I know a lot of creators like go, pay me $2,000 and I'll go do a review or whatever it is. And that's growing a trend, which I hate. Like, that's not what you're there to do. Chase is the community vehicle to be like, I can't get to those places. What was the place you just reviewed in Warrington that I did? That's in the back of my neighborhood, and I didn't even realize it was
Alessio Seafood.
Yeah.
Alessio Seafood, yeah.
Now, like, every time that he goes out, I get excited about where he's going to go, and I know that he's just being himself. So is Mike. So is everyone else. And the goal for us should be the brands that want to be a part of that conversation. That restaurant should be, getting in there and supporting Chase, because that is
it all
the whole circle, as you say.
The beauty of it is to be able to partner with, who we partner with. You guys at Foods Galore. Hanks was kind enough to be able to sponsor that video and take the onus off of the restaurant, because we're very transparent about it. Are we going out there charging $2,000 for somebody to film a video? Absolutely not. But there is a value of time, and there is going to be a rate package that we offer these restaurants, and they say no. They say no. I'm very transparent of like, if this doesn't work, that's perfectly fine. I'll try to get there if I can get there, but this is how we can guarantee it. But when you guys are willing to partner up with us to help the brands that are helping you, and we're all helping each other, it makes it so much easier to go out and be like, hey, Alessio's, we're here thanks to Hanks. Hey, Pika's, we're here thanks to Foods Galore. Hey, Pumpernicks, we're here thanks to Foods Galore. And it's helping everybody in the hands that feed. So thank you guys for that, because this is all about helping each other, but most importantly, helping the mom and pop shops who the balls they have to stay open or to have opened during COVID and still do what they're doing. We all know the stressors. Again, I grew up in it. You grew up in it. You see it every single day.
And a lot of them have no concept what social media is, the power the power that it yields,
how game changing it is.
I mean, you'd have to be crazy to not be willing to acknowledge that. I mean, the landscape has changed. The world has changed. Social media has completely changed the way people advertise.
It's television now. Yeah.
I mean, when I can go on, what was it, Fox Philly or whatever?
Fox 29 Philly.
When I turn on Fox 29 and I see a content creator on there, I see that all the time now. I follow these guys in New York. They're Scarlatos, I think they're called.
Okay, yeah.
They were on Fox News, I think.
Yep.
I mean, Fox News is having these guys on. I mean, so they've seen it. They've taken notice to, okay, this is how we can get exposure to the world now. You know, no one is at home watching commercials anymore. That's not happening. That's over with. I mean, I'm not sure. Call me crazy, but people are watching Netflix. People are watching, Hulu, whatever it is. I think the days of commercials being a way to advertise, and now I think what's taken over is aligning yourself with content creators, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I want to dispel that notion completely. You know, we've done our fair share with some of them, and you know, they all have a different lingo, a different shtick, a different approach that works for them. And to be honest, I think they're all great. But, you know, the truth is there are a lot of companies out there that don't have the time or the resources or understand it properly, you know, that should be looking at it like, okay, let me work with someone that does. And there's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, there's a story to be told. You know, I've talked about Foods Galore here today and what we do. You know, if not for my ability to get with you and you, John, and be able to put that out there for people to be like, oh, wait, you know, I'm actually not happy with my food service distributor. You know, let me check these guys out. You know, who are they? Let me check them out. And, you know, that's something that we're willing to accept. You know, we haven't done a great job of getting the word out, of letting people know who we are. So, you know, we're thrilled to be doing it with you.
Yeah, no, we're just as excited. And I think as we're starting to wrap up this podcast, this conversation, you know, just thank you. Thank you for reaching out to us, taking a chance on us to be able to help highlight some of the businesses, the customers, the vendors that you guys are utilizing. We hope that this is a very exciting future to come, because if we can go out there and be that family brand together and be able to help more businesses together, that's the dream, right?
Yeah, I think this is just the beginning, you know. Whether you're a deli, a diner, a pizza shop, a caterer, a small guy caterer operating out of your kitchen, or a huge white tablecloth restaurant, you know, I urge you, you know, check out Foods Galore. Give us a call. You'll probably get Kenny, Morty, or Howard on the phone, and they're going to direct you the right way. I'd love to speak to you, and you know, if not for anything, come to Foods Galore's food show on Tuesday, April 9th. You can go to foodsgalore.com. It's very easy to register. While the event is not open to the general public, you know, as much as we'd love to have 10,000 people here, you know, your accountants, your electricians, your plumbers, you know, as much as we value what they do, you know, the event is tailored specifically towards your restaurant operators, your deli operators, anybody in the food dining space, whether you're retail or food service, whether you own a restaurant, work at it, manage it, whether you're just the greeter at the front door, it's open to you. Register, come here on Tuesday, April 9th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Chase U will be there. John will be there. Two Moods Vodka Seltzer will be there. Vulgar Brewing.
Volt Brewing, yeah.
Stella
sometimes
Artois.
they'll get vulgar. Who knows?
Stella Artois.
Godfather Meat, Yo College will be there. We'll have some fun.
There's a ton. There's going to be so much going on.
Most importantly, Kisses for Kyle going to be there. We're, you know, the donation. So get here, register.
Yeah, it's really, and you know, hey, after 10 weeks, you know, you're going to get a big fat check for buying a lot of foods from Foods Galore. You know, why not? So what's the harm?
Who doesn't like that?
What's the harm?
JB, any final thoughts?
I think this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime type of an event. If you're a local Philadelphia distributor, somebody that orders somebody that is looking to get product into different places, I'm like already. I have too many ideas for both of you of like what we can do with a lot of the people coming in here. So I'm just pumped and I'm excited to meet you. Whoever's coming out with us, we'll be here all day. So
Yeah, and something that really excites me is that as opposed to like a corporation, Foods Galore, we'll just come up with ideas and bring them to life. You know what I mean? There's no red tape. There's no one sitting behind the desk saying we can't do this. I mean, if you have an idea, even you guys, if you have an idea, we can help facilitate that. You know, we have over 350 direct suppliers that we deal with. We deal with countless distributors all over the United States. Plus, we import products from other countries. And there's just no rules. I mean, you got to know some of the players at our company, people that have made a huge difference. Emilio Berardi, Mark Altman, Alex Sigmund, Tom Cacciacarni. This is the senior team there that's willing to do things differently. That's what we want to do. And that's part of our shtick. If a customer comes to us with a creative idea, in terms of how they can further their business and bring it to life, whether it's a golf outing or
A tailgate.
or a tailgate. I mean, we're going to be a part of it,
Or a
and
food truck,
we're going to
perhaps.
help you bring it to life.
Perhaps.
Whether it's a cooking competition.
yeah.
I mean, there's so many ideas, and Foods Galore wants to be a part of that with you guys. We're very excited.
Yeah, don't think we haven't already discussed the Chase U cheesesteak. That was like pretty much the third thing we talked about. So
Very, very exciting things to come. And I'm sure this isn't going to be the only time that we sit at a table like this and have a conversation. But until then,
oh yeah.
make sure to hit the follow button, leave a comment below. Make sure to follow Foods Galore and join us at the Foods Galore Food Expo, Tuesday, April 9th. You'll see us there. And that's all I got. So until next time, peace.